Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's UDC Library webinar on background research. My name is Megan Kowalski, and I am the Outreach and Reference Librarian here at the UDC Library. This is the third, I believe, in our series of webinars this fall. And if you're interested in joining us for any of the ones upcoming, please go ahead and register through our website. We're going to be talking about things like how to create a thesis, finding the information you need, and figuring out how much information you need by the end of December. So please join us there today, or go onto our website and you can sign up for the rest of those webinars. Today's session is being recorded and the link will be posted to our YouTube after the event has ended, and it will be sent to everyone who has registered. We will also have time for questions, both recorded and unrecorded at the end. So to get things started, what are we looking at today? Well, first, we're going to explore what background research is. Then we're going to talk about some best practices, where you can go to find background research, how to use it once you found it, and as I mentioned earlier, time for our questions and answers. So first things first, what is background research? Well, background information provides you with the important context of an idea or a topic that helps you understand your area of research. At its core, background information is what you need to know about a subject before you can research a specific question or argue a specific point. Background research can help you better understand concepts and key terms within your area of research because every area has its own vocabulary and its own ideas. And so background research can help you get a better understanding of what that is. Background research can also help you understand the scope of your research area. How big does it get? It can also help you see the connections between the different topics within your specific field. Doing some background research can also help you narrow down your research question or thesis. As you learn you'll learn more about your question and you can note how this will shape your research work as you go forward. And finally, it can help you refine what you are working on. It's hard to research a big, broad topic, and background information can sort of help you be more targeted when it comes to doing the actual specific research for your assignment. And there are different kinds of background information. And background information, again, it provides you with the context of an idea or topic. And depending on what you research, background information can be many things. First, it can be historical, and this will place your research topic within the context of a timeline of historical events. It can also be cultural, and this will help you place your research topic within the experiences of a specific people or event. It can also be economic, and this is where it places your research topic within the broader idea of a business or a market or a production system or theory. And it can be political, where you look within a specific country's governing system or a broader political theory. It can be social, and it can help you place your research topic within a broader social movement, an event, or a group, both national, local, or even international. It can also be temporal. Literally, it can place it on a specific timeline of events. When did this happen in the greater context of human history? It can also be philosophical and help you explore a broader theory or idea. And it can definitely be interdisciplinary. And this is where your research topic is placed across different areas to see how they relate or contrast to one another. And background information can include any or all of these, but it generally provides a summary of the greater ideas that go within a specific area. At its core, background information is what you need to know about a subject before you, again, dive into research that specific research question or topic. So why do you need background research? Well, doing background research gives you a solid basis of understanding about a topic you are going to explore. It is the foundation upon which you build the rest of your research work. It also helps you frame your research within a broader academic conversation. Essentially, it's helping you set the scene of what you're going to be working through with your own writing. It also supports the development of a strong research question and thesis statement. Essentially, it shows that you know what you are talking about. And this can ensure that you have credibility and depth within your academic work because it shows you went out and learned things and then thought about them critically. And finally, background research ensures that you're not just repeating what is already known. It helps you position your work, that is, your voice, within the existing literature of a field of study. And so when it comes to background research, there are some best practices we recommend. First is to start broad and narrow down. So begin with general sources to get an overview of an idea. And these are things like encyclopedias or even your textbook. And then you can narrow your focus to more specialized material as you develop your understanding. Again, think of this as laying the groundwork. You learn the basics before getting into those more niche articles and books. Another best practice is to learn and identify the key concepts and terms. As you learn the critical vocabulary and terminology relevant to your topic, you will better understand what is going on. But as you also see these key concepts and terms, you can later turn these into those keywords you use when you go to do research in an academic database later. Having a, background research can also help you evaluate the credibility of your sources that you find in your research later on. You want to use trusted resources, and to know what to trust, you have to understand the topic. And so it becomes easier to evaluate information when you do this background research and you know that, again, that solid understanding. And this understanding comes from having that background research. Next, you want to be curious. Follow what you find interesting. When it comes to doing background research, you're doing a lot of exploration, and it's okay to go down a rabbit hole if you find something interesting. Go ahead, click on the links and read what's in front of you. And reading is fundamental here. You just can't skim. You have to read what's going on. But wandering around through your background research can help you make connections, see concepts, and think about your topic more broadly and critically. And finally, as you do background research, take notes. Write down what you were learning and where you got it from. And this is important for several reasons. First, it will help you recall what you've read and make connections when you go to do that deeper research later. And next, if you end up using the background research in your assignments, it is vital to know where it came from so that you can cite it later. And so where can you go to get background research? Well, first things first, go to the library. We pay for good places to find information and learn about various topics. And all you need to do as a UDC student is log on to use our resources. And we have some databases that are specifically designed for background research. So these databases include Credo Reference, Encyclopedia Britannica Academic Edition, Salem Reference, and World Factbook. And so these resources provide summaries, factual details, and important context on a wide array of topics. You can also read material available in our reference sources, and these include things like handbooks, and handbooks provide information, facts, and figures related to certain industries or topics. We also have encyclopedias, both broad encyclopedias and targeted encyclopedias on specific subject areas. And again, these provide summaries and a big picture look at people, places, things, and events. We also have several dictionaries, and you might think, oh, a dictionary is where I go to look up words, and that is true, but there are also dictionaries designed to target specific subject areas. And so this can provide information explaining topics within those specific subject areas. And we also have things like atlases, and these have, not just maps, but also facts, figures, and data relevant to geographic areas and demographic context. Next, you can go to open access resources. And open access resources are those that are freely available online. Anyone can access them at any time at no cost, until sometimes you do run into a paywall. And the importance of using open access resources is first, they are easily accessible. They're available via a quick Google search. And online resources like these can be incredibly current. They're up to date, whereas sometimes library resources, because they go through a strong editing and peer review process, can be a little bit behind the times depending on the topic. And there are some great places to go. There are online repositories like Google Scholar, PubMed, or government databases that are generally trustworthy when it comes to doing background research. And you can also use places like Wikipedia, but with the caution that since anyone can edit it, you have to be very careful when you're doing your research there. I also want to say news resources are a great place to do some background research, but you have to be careful of the bias that might be existent in those news resources. And also with recent news, things change very quickly. To use today's example, Hurricane Helene, we're getting a lot of updates very quickly, but because it's breaking news, you might have to go back and read more information to make sure that you're staying up to date as things change over time. And this summer, we did a webinar all about news resources, so I highly recommend going back and watching that one if you're interested in learning more about news-specific resources. You yourself can also be a source of background information. You have personal and community experience, and the knowledge you've gained there is important and is a great source of background research. As a student, you have also likely encountered many situations and learning opportunities that have informed your understanding and opinions on various subjects. Through your classes, you're gaining knowledge that can become background research. You can also consider things like the textbook in your class. And while these are not academic sources, your experience matters and can help you understand all sides of a topic. So now that you've done your background research, how do you go ahead and use it? Well, first, when you're using background research, often you need to summarize and paraphrase it. Most of these resources, they're not considered academic articles, they're not books, they're not things you're going to be directly quoting within a paper. So you're going to want to go ahead and summarize and paraphrase. And the key to using this is to not overwhelm your reader with too many details. You're using your background research to set the scene. You don't have to recount every fact and detail you learned, but just the important parts that gives your reader that same foundational knowledge that you have. You also want to balance what you have learned with your own analysis and thinking. You may have learned a lot, but what do you think about it? That's what your professor wants to see. They want to know, what do you critically think about all of this information that you have learned? And then most importantly, you want to remember to cite it. Don't forget to cite everything that is not your own work. Citing is both how you avoid plagiarism and shows that you did the critical research necessary to learn about a subject matter. And so this was just a quick and dirty walkthrough of what background research is, where to find it, and how to use it. If you have any questions going forward about this, please do not hesitate to contact us. You can email us, talk to us through a chat. I promise we're not bots. Schedule an appointment or stop by the library at any time. We have locations on both the Van Ness and Lamond Riggs campus. And so now I want to give time for questions, both recorded and unrecorded. So if you have any questions about background research or using the library, please don't hesitate to drop them in the chat, and I'm happy to answer them. And again, thank you for attending today. This session, the link to it, once the recording is posted, will go out to you later this afternoon. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions coming into the chat, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording to give time for some unrecorded questions if people prefer that.